I'm probably not. It's probably not gonna be explicit. I'm just gonna say something.
Kara, did you see Carlos out there?
Wait, is it on?
Right now? Hi, everyone.
Yes.
How many people are watching?
I don't know. It doesn't tell me.
It is live.
It's Viviana. That's what I'm saying. So, you guys are staying here to take a hold of space.
He put ads in. Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're just waiting for Carlos to watch it live.
Don't get up.
It said watch it. Oh, you're waiting for your tweet. It's live. Yeah.
We missing anyone? Wait, the live stream actually.
What is it like? Show me.
I thought we were missing Isaac.
Oh, cool. Does anyone want to go up there and say hello, Dad? Hey, Mom, Dad. I hope you're not watching. I'm sorry I left for 3 weeks straight. Here's what I'm doing. Thank you for letting me do it.
Hey,
Hey, audience member number 2.
Here's our second audience member.
Yay! Somebody came! Somebody came! Hi, Rosie. Hi, friends. Are you guys gonna go live? Oh, you're already live?
Remember when you did this?
Yeah, I'm stressed. We were all really nervous and we stayed up really late practicing. That's what it's on 6 Spotify.
Yeah, let's play some music so we can chill out.
Can we play it?
Oh wait, no, copyright. Let's play some royalty-free tunes so we can chill out.
Let's play music that's on in Canvas. In Canvas. Oh yeah, can we play that in Canvas?
Yeah, can we play the Canvas music?
Oh yeah,
It's royalty
pretty
free.
good. They have to present it. Okay.
People seeing?
Yeah.
Shut down YouTube. Oh, YouTube. Yeah. Okay, Google, delete YouTube. Hey Alexa, play. Hey Alexa. Hey Alexa, go real quick. Hey Alexa, play Howard the Alien. Oh yeah, that's an issue. Oh wait, the time's on. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. Let's get a shout out to Lamarcus Aldridge. What? Yeah, he is basketball player. say that?
Hello.
I didn't want stars together.
I didn't want anyone to mistake me for a CSSI student. Exactly.
Carlos.
Exactly the issue.
Yep.
Okay, Lee.
You could have worn like a blue or green
A little bit closer.
I
Right, there we go.
I should have.
And then you're gonna end up being mistaken as a CSI.
Right.
Yeah, didn't somebody here? I think someone thought you were a student, Simon.
Don't I look like a student?
No, that was a me.
I don't know, I can't see you.
Yeah, no, I thought Paige was one of the students too.
Oh, it actually did.
I legit thought Paige was the CSSI student.
I was like, oh, aren't you gonna work
It's only, I mean,
I know.
Oh, that's my thing.
Alright.
Yeah, don't need to.
Yeah, I had a crazy. Gotta do a lot of heavy lifting.
Alright, okay.
Optimistic about the way. It will be good. It will be good. Of course, it is always good. Especially Simon.
Let me see what
Wait, is that which red?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
No.
ready?
Oh my god, this is. Wait, how can I get it?
Oh.
No.
I want to see the original video.
I don't want my face.
Oh, look, it's more.
Oh, Artemis!
You really want to see your presentation.
Yeah. We're so happy you came.
But yeah, where's the link?
If you hear a little voice in the middle of your presentations, that's
I like the background.
this is one of two. The other one has bit the dust.
What?
Right. Yep.
oh.
Good job. Good job. You feel they're going to go out there and present. They're going to be awesome. They always are. I've seen a few of their presentations.
What if we don't get like
You say thank you to Mr. Simon?
You're welcome. Alright, glad you're here.
it's thousands of people? There's like 3 other people in the room plus
There's
10 more.
Oh, look, small audience. Come on in.
It looks like it's... Yeah. It's the audience.
I'll have to subscribe. Why doesn't you watch yourself?
You just have to start small, Simon, I guess.
Do you need to go potty? Sure, check it. Okay, so if you have to go potty in the middle.
We are early.
Let's make sure all the sound has to be off, okay? Sorry. No sound.
Simon, how many subscribers do you have?
3.
3?
He has 5 now. He has 5 subscribers.
5?
Ooh.
Well, you can watch next year's CSI presentation.
Let me subscribe myself.
Yeah, when we're not when I'm watching when we're here.
Did I tell you about the photo shoot?
Oh, there you go.
That's 29 people
What?
watching us.
Let me take a picture of your shirt.
29.
Hello, people.
The count's going up to 1,000.
I wish.
Yay!
Now, where's Marcus?
Where's Lamarcus?
Where's Marcus de Mason?
I got no excuses for him. Marcus the Mason.
Where's Mason Marcus?
Wait, what's his? Oh, okay.
Mason DeMarco.
Marcus.
Mason, middle name to be determined.
Come on, MC.
I thought it was Orville.
That would be so cool. Haley was FaceTiming somebody, and now this is
I
Wait, you guys can get the last year.
My cousin commented on the live stream.
Oh, everyone comment on live.
Okay, there's two mics here. So, one person at central podium, one mic for each person. It's on, you have to turn on or off. Okay. Yeah. You don't have to leave. Just dance.
What's up, Danny? Oh, I thought you had a question.
Did you get the chance to follow?
Sorry?
I was asking, did you get the chance to follow?
What did your cousin say about live stream?
Damon has a question.
Damon, what's your question?
I was wondering if you got the chance to follow.
No volume controls that I can find.
Tell Kara I said.
No, you can hear? Kara can stand in front of the go away. Stand in front of the go away. Because it's all that way.
Yeah, these are all the students that I was teaching. Actually, a lot of these folks taught. Mr. Simon taught a couple.
That's probably still perfect.
Mr. Tam.
Yeah, my cousin comes.
Oh, okay.
There's a vet there now. She taught a couple days.
Who goes first?
Yeah, remember, we have to have super quiet voices, okay? Super duper quiet.
Mason!
Marcus!
Marcus!
Hey!
Somebody said to tell Sarah.
You know, this is that's my cousin. I said that like that's what Simon had me stand in front of. What?
That's not Marcus. Like right now, he's playing with
Yeah. Does it show how many people are viewing? Does it show how many people are viewing?
Yeah.
I'm not upset at all.
You're in it. You're in the shot.
Oh, I was.
Simon,
I can
you have
see
to
your
use the
heart.
bathroom. You have to use the bathroom.
Go if you want, you know, when you use it.
Huh?
We'll start a couple of things. Maybe like you. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna wait a couple more minutes to let the audience actually come over and settle in, and then we'll get going.
Hey, make sure you hit that like button.
Hit that like, subscribe, little bell icon.
It should be like on the ticket, maybe?
No, it's not.
You can't just make that noise and not say explain what's going on.
Oh, I see that Jimmy has joined us.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Oh, it's that kid.
Wait, he's leaving. I don't know if you can see him, but maybe now it's muted.
I did scream.
Should have put on I'm not. I mean, I'm loud. It really do feel like that.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can see
oh,
him.
there it is.
What's the one that I like look red?
Music, T-pose.
Oh, you know we got it.
Alright, we're gonna give people another probably 2 minutes and then we'll start.
It's quite an island you're building, honey. Alright, starting if you want. Actually, you want as much as you want.
Alright folks, we're gonna get started here. Alright, so thank you for coming to the Google Computer Science Summer Institute final project presentations. My name is Simon Tan. I'm the lead instructor for the Seattle site. Google Computer Science Summer Institute runs in 10 locations across the United States. Here in Seattle, we have 30 very bright, very talented students over here come here and spend 3 weeks with us, where we actually teach them computer science, we teach them programming in a variety of languages. And you gotta remember that these kids aren't here because they are like the most accomplished programmers ever. Rather, we look for people with passion in technology who may or may not know computer science, but who demonstrate this willingness to learn. It's been my absolute pleasure to actually be part of the journey to actually help you guys do this. So they have literally come from about 0 to hero in a very short 3 weeks. And so I hope you guys are excited as I am to actually watch their final presentations. Before we get started on presentations, I want to acknowledge in particular all the wonderful volunteers, all the TAs, in particular the RAs over there. And as well as the wonderful support staff, Zach and Tara. And Tim, of course, needs to say a few words. Come on, Tim.
My name is Tim Blasey. I'm the Google Fellow here at Seattle. It's been a real pleasure watching all of these students for the past 3 weeks. It's amazing how much work they've done and how hard they've worked, and I'm real excited to see what they came up with. So let's check out these presentations. It's going to be great.
Alright, so I'm going to turn this over to the real stars of the show, the students here, and let's go. First team, come on up. Woo!
So I'm Yogi Gonzalez. I'm from Sacramento, California, and I'll be attending California State University of Sacramento to study computer science.
Hello everyone, my name is Julissa Tinajero. I'm from Soledad, a small town located in Central California. This fall I will be attending San Jose State and I will be majoring in computer science.
Hey everyone, my name is Miguel Angel Molina. I'm from San Diego, California, and I'll be studying computer information systems at California State University, San Marcos.
So our team name is a play on the first letter of our names, Julissa, Yowie, and Miguel. We are Team Jim.
So for our web application, we decided to name it Imminent Reprisal. Imminent Reprisal is an online choose-your-own-adventure game where the player guides the protagonist through a number of difficult choices which affect the outcome of the story. The protagonist is a young adult who lives in Niza, a region where Dionysus, god of wine, is worshipped. Provoked by flashing images of a child, our hero sets out on a journey to find wisdom and restore balance to Niza, which has become permeated by drunken disorder.
We have a simple outline for our homepage. We want to draw users' attention to our title, Imminent Reprisal. We included a brief description of what our application is about. We also included reviews, which we wrote, and some social media icons at the bottom. On the upper left, we have the navigation. When you hover over menu, you'll see our two options, Begin Story and About Us, slide up from the bottom of the screen. And on the upper right, we have our sign-in. If you try to log in before signing in, you will just be redirected to the home page. So you have to sign in before you can begin playing. So do that now. Okay. So begin story. Similar to our homepage, we decided to keep it very simplistic so that users are drawn to the text and the actual storyline. And we have some audio playing as well.
So on the top left and the top right, you'll see lives and quit. We'll talk about that in a bit. On the left side and on the right side of the screen, you'll see there is GIFs. And that is just to show the user that you can scroll down the website to reveal more text.
We have buttons here which you can click and read through the story. We also included some color to differentiate between dialogue, narration, and actions.
So also within our story, we have automatic save feature. So if you quit from the game, it'll log you out and also redirect you to the home page. And when you begin to sign in again, you'll be redirected to the page you were last on.
So Julissa will be demonstrating that right now.
And we were back where we left off. So it saves your progress.
And also with the buttons, we added some animation to it. So whenever you hover over the button, the color will darken, and that's just so the user can emerge more into the game. That way it can feel more like a game and less like an actual web page.
So also within our game, we implemented lives, and once the user reaches the bad path that you lose life, you will click restart or quit, and when you click restart, it will redirect you to the homepage again, so you can try again, and then your lives count will move down by 1.
It'll redirect you to the first stage of the game.
And you can see in the top left that we lost a life.
Yes. So life decreased by 1. We also included About Us with just a brief bio.
Credits to Marie for the picture. So my struggle for making this app was using database and how to communicate from JavaScript to HTML to Python and then going back again. And that was my struggle for this app.
Another struggle we faced was having our application work properly with only one HTML page. So during our lessons with App Engine, we were taught how to connect multiple HTML files to make a working website, but because our story would require us to have too many HTML pages, we decided to use jQuery to hide and display text using only one HTML page.
And out of all the small challenges that we faced, one of them was adding background music to the page. It's really easy, but for us it took us a long time because we troubleshooted, we looked at our code for several minutes and more than several minutes. I would say like less than an hour, but and we came to realize that we actually had a corrupted MP3 file, which had nothing to do with the code. So the way we solved it was just download the MP3 again.
So any questions? Billy?
How'd you come up with this story?
Well, actually, Yaoi was the one that first brought up the idea. He had an interest already in Greek mythology, and me and Miguel kind of jumped in on that idea. Also, we have a TA, his name is Eric, who's really into Greek mythology, so we had someone to refer to and help us make the story original.
Carlos?
With lives, are you guys thinking about, or can you change how many lives you have? Or is that like, you guys said that is that part of the story?
Well, we have it set to 3, and then, well, we couldn't finish the whole path due to time's sake, but the goal was to have many different paths that branch off and intertwine, and if you chose the ones that lead to game over, you lose a life, and your goal was to finish the path without finishing your 3 lives.
Oh, okay.
Ben?
Thanks.
Do you guys plan to add any visuals or images?
Yeah, thank you for the feedback. We'll be adding it in our next version.
Hi, my name is Kara Harvin. I'm from Attica, Ohio, and in the fall I'll be attending Bowling Green State University studying software engineering.
Aloha everyone, my name is Roland Afaga, coming at you across the Pacific Ocean from the Big Island of Hawaii. I'll be attending Santa Clara University studying computer science and engineering.
Hi, I'm Marsha Dye and I'm from Irvine, California. I'm going to Carnegie Mellon University in the fall to study computer science.
And we are Team Catalyst. Okay. So we created this app, Tutorific, in order to connect our users with each other for help with education. Our users are able to create an account on our app, specify whether or not they're a tutor or a student, pick a subject that they're either proficient or struggling with, and our app uses a database to connect them with each other, and our users can either volunteer their time to help students on our app or be a student receiving help from other users.
So whenever you come across our website, you can't really access any of the features unless you log in. So if you click search, then you'll be directed to a login page. Yeah. And yeah, once you log in, you'll be directed to this search page where you'll be able to enter whether you are a student or a tutor, what subject that you're either proficient in or struggling in, and when you are available.
Okay, so you can choose, let's say the subject is math because that's what, and then you're a student and you're available early morning, where you basically create like a profile where you can then look at people who sign up as tutors and then send them an email if you want to, where there will be a pop-up and then you type your message into the pop-up, whatever, and then just say, hi, I need help. And then you can send it, in which case it will pop up with your message sending, and you should see it in your inbox. And then click the OK. And then it will redirect you to the home page, and then the tutor that you clicked on will receive the email in their inbox. And on the other hand, if you choose a subject that no one has like a tutor, like no one signed up for a tutor as, then you will see the message that there's no matches at this time, and then you should please check back later. And then there's also the FAQ that if you have any questions, then you could click on a question and it'll direct you down to the question. And then if a page ever gets too long, you can click back to top.
So during our making of this app, I worked mostly on the back end. So I had a lot of issues working with the Mail API, getting that to work. I also struggled with login, user authentication quite a bit, trying to get the login and log out buttons to show up when they should. Other than that, I had fun making it.
One of my struggles was also the nav bar. We struggled with when a user was logged in, it wouldn't show like the logout button or the other way around. It also was hard for me to work with like just struggling the back end and pushing it to the front so that people can see it. And yeah.
I did mostly front end things, and when I did the pop-up window, the code that I referenced changed the CSS on that page, so it was hard to figure out like which parts that they were changing and which parts I needed to go back to override them.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes. When you guys are matching students to teachers, do you guys have any notion of like a best match or some kind of way to get the best appropriate people like in the competition?
One thing that we think might be helpful to do is implement like a location service, so it would be organized by whoever's closest. Otherwise, one thing we were also talking about doing is like a rating system. So our users could rate tutors that they had and maybe organize it by the highest rating, but that's not something we've implemented yet.
Can someone sign up as a tutor for one subject and a student for another subject?
Yeah, there's no limitation on how many you can sign up for.
Nope.
Okay. So if you wanted to sign up as a tutor, would you only choose to be tutored on one subject, or
You can sign up for multiple subjects as long as you put in the search box. You can put in whether you want to be a tutor, and you can submit as many entries as you want to this form.
But it doesn't duplicate past entries. So like if you're already a tutor for math, then you're not a tutor for math again.
There you go.
How do you get to send an email?
We utilize the Mail API. As it turns out, we can only send 10 emails on our website a day, which caused issues before the demo, but it does work.
Yeah.
We just need to like pay for it, maybe.
We're poor, so.
we're broke college students. So.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone, my name is John Galveston. I'm John Galveston, I'm from Vallejo, California. I will be studying computer engineering at University of California, Davis in the fall. And my role for this website was as a front-end web developer.
Hi, I'm Damon Hines. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I'll be attending the University of Chicago this fall, studying computer science and economics, and I was the full stack, meaning I do the front end and back end engineering.
Hi, my name is Sharon Ma. I'm from Irvine, California. I will be studying computer science at Harvard College in the fall, and my role was mainly in the back end.
Yes, and our group name is Trifecta. so our app is called Encanvassing. It's a play on the word incandescent, which means illumination, bright. So we just wanted to incorporate like bright colors into our app. And so the premise of our app is it's a piano playing app, so it teaches you how to play the piano while also discovering the puzzle. So you will have an image and it'll be covered by boxes, which will be dependent upon how many notes you have in the piano key. So right now we have a login, and we use login because we wanted to create a way for the user to save a song they make. Right now we're still working on that, but it's cool. So we use the Google API to log in. I'm going to demonstrate that. So you just log in.
And here we have the home page, which, as you can see, it has the instructions button, a select the song button, and also an about us button. And as you can see in the header, the name that appears is unique to the user that is using it. And if we take a look at the instructions page, it'll teach you how to play the game. So as Damon demonstrated and talked about, he essentially a user would select a song, and that song has a unique note pattern or key pattern. And if you play the correct notes, the image will slowly start to dissolve, or not dissolve, but uncover the image under it. And as an extra feature, we also are able to change the octave of the song and change the instrument. So if we go back to the home page, Sharon will demonstrate how to actually play.
So on this page, we utilize the database to save songs up in the cloud. And this page displays all our songs in the database, which consists of 5 right now. So I will demonstrate how to play. So you pick your song and click on the button, and then it will show you. And then it will show you which notes to play right here. And then as you go through the song and play the correct notes correctly in the correct order, then the image, the white box will slowly reveal the image behind. So the song I chose was Twinkle Twinkle. So if I play. So like as you notice, I played the wrong note, so the box didn't disappear. So yeah, like as you can see, if I play the wrong notes, it doesn't work. So in Twinkle Twinkle, there are only 14 notes, but if you notice, the grade was 16 boxes. So the way we did it was that if you complete the song and there are extra boxes, the extra boxes will disappear as well. And then you can also navigate home or select a new song after you finish or continue playing on the screen.
Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate how you can change the octave and change the type of instrument. So you just scroll down, you see how it sounds like this. I can change the octaves to higher. So I'm going to change it to acoustic guitar. So you just play that and it uncovers the image. So you can scroll up, you see I hit some of the notes correctly, so it's uncovering the image. So now we're going to go back to the home page. And so we wanted to just have an about us page to describe. And so this is our about us page. So it just gives a brief summary of what we did and who we are. We just thought that was like essential to the app to just like show like who we are, you know, how we made it. So basically, that's pretty much.
Any questions?
No.
Oh.
I think 2 of the key challenges that I had as the front end handling the design aspect and the aesthetic of the website was taking my vision and their vision and putting it all into one. Because when you have creative conflicts, then it takes a while to like get everyone on the same page and like agree on a design that we all like. And another thing is that coming into CSSI, I had minimal coding experience, only a little bit of HTML and CSS. So taking a blank white HTML page and turning it into something like that was both a challenge and an accomplishment personally for me.
Okay, and the challenge I had was incorporating his front-end design mixed with her back-end development. So when you use HTML, you have to know how to input the data from the database. So that was really hard, incorporating her data into his data. And then also like having the image kind of for all of us so we can know like if she does this through Python, how would it look on the page? How would it come up? So that was kind of a challenge for me.
For me, I was working on the back end, so I had trouble with the databases and also getting the data and then using Python to communicate with JavaScript and vice versa, and that was a big struggle, but I'm really happy with the results.
Any questions?
When playing a song, how does the user keep track of what the
So the question was, when you play a song, what was it again?
how does the user keep track of where they are in the song?
How does the user keep track of where they are in the song?
So currently, we do not have a feature for that, but that is something we will be taking into consideration.
Carlo.
That's an awesome soundtrack you have on the homepage. Where did you guys make that, or did you guys find it somewhere?
So the question was, how did we get the song to play, and also where we get it from? So I actually just looked up like royalty-free songs that you can use in apps. So basically, I just used that, downloaded that, and I converted it to like the HTML file, and then it was inputted to that, embedded to that. I used different controls to make it autoplay. The question is just a comment. We're gonna let y'all hear it for a second. I'm gonna restart the page. We just chose this song because it was like soothing. It wasn't too like annoying, but it wasn't too like dull.
So I think for me, I would like to add a way to save favorite songs to your personal profile, or like also save the progress you are on certain songs, so that we could utilize the logging feature more efficiently.
Yes, I agree. All right.
Hi guys, my name is Vanessa Reyes. I'm from Thornton, Colorado, and in the fall I'll be attending the University of Colorado Boulder, and I'll be majoring in electrical and computer engineering.
Hello, my name is Efrain Contreras. I'm from San Diego, California, and I'll be attending the University of California, San Diego, where I'll be studying computer science.
Hi, my name is Carolina Calderon, and I'm from Pocatello, Idaho. In the fall, I'll be studying computer science at the University of Chicago. We are Team Powerpuff, and our app is called Meet to Eat. Meet to Eat capitalizes on this idea of social dining, that sharing a meal can go beyond the table in forming and developing new relationships with people. Now, Meet to Eat is perfect for friends who want to get together at a specific cafe for lunch, but it's also intended for people who are new to the area, who are visiting and want to find a local who's willing to take them out to eat and just explore the area. So, if we scroll down on our main page, you'll see that we've look at this cool transition. You'll see that we've included that in our mission statement, the who, what, and vision blocks. And we've also included some reviews. And for the Google spirit of going above and beyond, we made some social media links. So if you guys want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, go ahead. For the rest of the demonstration, my teammates will be showing you how to create a profile, create a request, find your matches, and use the calendar, places to go, and the about page. So with that being said, let me turn the time over to them.
So when a user first logs into our website, they will be asked to make a profile. For this account, I've already made my profile, but I could still edit it, and this would be what a new user would see when first logging in. We ask the user for their name, gender, and for those who don't identify with either, we could include another option. Here we ask for the user city and their state, and using the Google Maps API, we are able to autocomplete their address. We just ask for a few more details of the user. Here in the request page, they can request where they want to go eat with other users. Here in the gender preference, they can choose if they would like to only be accompanied by males or by females, or if they have no preference. Once again, using the Google Maps API, we can autocomplete the address of where they would like to eat, such as if someone wanted to go eat at Pike Place. Then they would simply enter the number of people they would like to attend, the date of the event, and a time. Once the requests have made, other users could see my request in the matches. For example, we've had other people help us make requests, and we can see them displayed here. If I were to click on the All Go button, an email will be sent to that person telling them that I have accepted their request. Carolina will now demonstrate that the email was sent and it did work. And there it is.
So now I'll be going into our calendar page. So what this is it's basically your calendar. So if you made a request, it will show your request, and if you also said I'll go to another request, it'll also show your request. It'll show their bio, who the person is, and then it'll also say who the number of people going, and as well as the time and date. And then if you go into the Places to Go tab, so basically we added this page because a lot of people don't know what restaurant they want to go to. It's a very common theme. And so what we added was a description saying like, oh, if you don't know what kind of restaurant you want to go to, go ahead and use this widget that we added. So let's say if we're looking in Seattle, and then we hit search, it will display some restaurants around in that area, and you can also tap on them and it'll give more information on that restaurant. Next is our About page. It's very simple. It just talks about who we are and why we designed this app. So as a group, we all had our struggles, and I would feel that when I was working with my partners for this app, was that I did a lot of the HTML and like the layout of the page, and so I just had to stay on track for all of us to confirm that we liked how it looked and how we wanted the users to go through it. And then also on the Places to Go page, I tried using an API, but unfortunately the key did not work, so I had to use a widget, but that also came out great anyway, so.
For me, one of the biggest struggles was using APIs because we used the Google Maps API for the autocomplete and the Gmail API to send emails. And that was mostly reading through a bunch of documentation and then having to implement that, and for me that was very difficult.
Okay, so I can also relate to the struggle of APIs, but I feel like my biggest challenge had to do with playing it too safe. You see, my group is amazing, and we finished a lot of our original priorities on the second day, which means that we had another 2 days to implement some new features, which at first I was very hesitant about, but upon seeing the final product, I'm really happy that we took those risks and challenges.
Any questions?
So how exactly does the Google Maps API work? Is just like the search like autocomplete, or just like are you guys planning on like maybe like inputting like your location and like maybe nearby locations?
So the question was, how does the Google Map API work? The Google Map API works by, it's simply just, as you're typing in words, Google Maps essentially just guesses what area you're trying to locate, and it displays different options, and the user can just simply click it, and it will put the address.
also my partner forgot to add in that we had it to where if you input your location, it will filter out your matches by your location.
Is there any way to cancel, like, if you say I'll go, but then cancel from the website?
The question was there any way to cancel a request? Currently not, but we would like to implement that at some point.
So the question was, is there a way, if you say I'll go to a certain event, is there a way that you can contact that person saying that you're there and all that? So if you go onto your calendar, you can see all the places that you're gonna go, and it has the information with the person that made that request. So they'll have their email and also their phone number.
In addition, the email notification that you'll get should have their email and phone number to contact them with.
Is there any way to, like, find out
Google.
Hello, my name is Adam Shahadi. I'm from Boulder, Colorado, and I will be attending the University of Colorado at Boulder and studying electrical and computer engineering and computer science.
Hello, my name is Isaac Garcia. I am from Phoenix, Arizona. I will be attending Northern Arizona University, studying computer information systems and comparative cultural studies.
I'm Nikki Graywall. I'm from Sacramento, California, and in the fall I'll be studying electrical engineering at the University of California, San Diego.
And we are Team Bite Size, and that's Bite with a Y. And this is our application Outfits.
Right, so our application is called Outfits, and we created this app to help users diversify their wardrobe and style. So how it works is users can upload a picture, description, and the date that they wore an outfit, and just with the main goal of documenting what they wear every day. Then when a user in the future is looking back at what they should wear that day, they have the ability to go back and look at what they've worn previously, just to ensure that they never repeat an outfit. So everything that a user posts on their account is private, so only they'll be able to see their entries. And this is just because our intention is not for it to be photo sharing, but rather for individual reflection and reference. Essentially, Outfits eliminates the factor of forgetfulness when you're choosing what to wear every day.
And during the design and development process of this application, we put a large emphasis on simplicity and having the user really focus on the content and not being distracted by interacting with the UI. So when the user first enters the website, they're hit with the splash screen where they can have an about section, so if they're new to our service, they can read about the functionality and see what it does. And then when you're ready to dive in, press sign in with Google, sign into a different account, authenticate with your Google credentials. And then once it authenticates, it brings you into your timeline. And on the left pane, this is where the user enters outfit entries. And on the right side is their personal timeline.
Styling.
So, and so as Simon has said, our CSSI group has been together for 3 weeks. And over the course of that time, a lot of my fellow CSSI members have told me that my wardrobe isn't too diverse. It's pretty similar. So I thought today I'd change it up a little bit and wear something that pops a bit more. So I'm going to create an outfit entry on the left pane. So the first step is choosing a file. And now I add a label for what I'm wearing. So I'm going to do my red CSSI shirt, some navy jeans, and I still really like my sandals, and I'm going to keep on wearing them. Then we have this date picker for when you wore the outfit. Now by default it goes to the current date, but we also allow you to choose previous dates. So if there's an outfit you wore previously, you can enter that. Press submit, and it's added to your timeline. Now, Now, in addition to this, we have delete functionality. So if you'd like to delete an entry from your timeline, all you have to do is press delete, and it's removed. And once you're done looking at your timeline or creating outfit entries, all you have to do is press sign out, and it brings you back to the home page.
Alright, and I'm also going to sign into my account just to show our multi-user functionality. So you'll be able to see once I log in that my account only displays my timeline of pictures that I have uploaded. So as I scroll down, I've been uploading my outfit every day of this past week. So if I want to continue that, I can just go to my image, add my description. And then today's date, and then it'll automatically pop up at the top of my timeline as well as all my other ones. And we have the date in order, so it starts with today's date and goes in descending order back to my first post.
Alright, so for our web page design, we chose to go with a simple material design. Aside from being a personal fan of it, it meets our intentions of making the user interface as smooth and as fluid as possible, so the user doesn't have to worry about links and about other links and anything that can distract them from the main purpose of our app. So on the left-hand side, as you've been shown, you have the file, the description, and the date worn. It's all very simple. You type in your data, press submit. And the way we made this work is by using the user's input data. We were able to upload it into the App Engine's data store. And on the right-hand side, where all the pictures are displayed, all we did was pull all that data from the App Engine database and display it all on the right-hand side. And it's all categorized so every user has a different timeline.
So as far as challenges, working on this project the last week, my biggest challenge was probably taking the idea that I had in my head and making the website match my vision using the coding that we used the past 2 weeks, and also just being able to refer back to what we learned to make it possible.
And during the development process with Isaac and Nikki, some of the challenges I encountered were uploading photos from your local system up into Data Store. I also worked with Isaac on querying the photos into your timeline and authenticating it per user. In addition to that, adding delete functionality for each outfit entry and being able to remove from the timeline was challenging.
And for me, my biggest challenge was trying to get it to work on App Engine. Oftentimes, everything would work fine on localhost. We would try it on different machines. Everything would work fine. As soon as you upload to App Engine, everything just breaks. So we just had to go through multiple errors, making sure everything works right. It wasn't really App Engine's fault. It was mostly our code. So janky. But yeah, just we went through the errors. We fixed each one, and eventually we got into a working condition.
Questions?
Damon.
How does this app diversify wardrobe?
So basically, it just gives you an opportunity to reflect on what you have worn, and it just gives you an opportunity to think kind of outside of your comfort zone and outside of your box, just to try to expand to something greater. Carlos.
Is there a maximum amount of entries that you can import, say like for space constraints, or do you need, and if so, like does it automatically purge old entries?
We don't 100% know, but I believe we have either a gigabyte or 10 gigabytes of data we can have on Data Store for this free tier that we have, or the $50 credits that we were given for the CSSI project. There's this echo.
I know at one point I had about 30 entries in, and it worked perfectly fine. So I had like my last month of outfits, and it still worked great. I was able to upload stuff.
We also have some compression too, just to help with that. We rescale it, so you don't need the full resolution image to pop up on your timeline, and that helps conserve data.
Yeah.
So that is actually, I'll repeat the question. So it was just if we could search certain, maybe a color or a certain item that you have worn. And that is actually something we wanted to implement, but just because of time constraints, we weren't able to, but that's definitely something we want to add. been.
So are you able to actually
Yeah, so you're definitely able to just enter it again, but the main purpose of the app is just to try to get you to try new things and wear something different.
Hi, my name is Mayreen. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I'll be attending the University of California, Irvine in the fall to study mathematics, but I'm eventually going to transfer to comp sci.
Hi, my name is Benjamin Bestman, and I'm from San Diego, California. I'll be attending the University of California, San Diego, studying bioengineering with a possible minor in computer science in the fall.
Hi, my name is Viviana Michelle. I'm from Oxnard, California, and this fall I'll be attending University of California, Berkeley to study biochemistry and computer science.
Our team name is Gingivitis, which is a play on words for Ginger templates, which we use to connect our Python to our HTML. So the premise of our app, which is called New Planet, is a lifestyle website aimed at helping its users climb to their highest levels of Earth friendliness whilst maintaining a balanced diet and conserving natural resources such as water. And as you can see right here, we have a little more about our page and some inspiration for people who want to start living a more healthy lifestyle, and also some reviews from very reliable sources. And right here we can log in.
So upon logging in, we connected it with the Google Login API, so you're allowed to log in with your Google account. And once you sign in, it's going to store your name and your email, and it creates a local storage of your email since it's specific to each user, and that's how we're able to make and pull up stuff specific to who's logged in. So when you log in, it takes you to this page, and if you scroll down, the first thing you could see is your water footprint. And originally this was supposed to be like a water tracker, and it was going to pull from a database that had information about how much water it takes to make a certain substance. But we didn't find any database that had that information. So now it's basically a converter. So when you choose a category, depending on what you choose, different functions are called to make this, and it's all like manually input. So say you want to enter an amount of avocado in pounds. It tells you how much gallons of water it takes to make that, as well as it compares it to other vegetables. And that's pretty much it for that function.
Okay, so when you scroll down, I also imported this little widget that helps you find out how many calories that you should be eating per day based on whether you want to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain weight. So you just input a bunch of these different parameters, and then you put your activity status, and then you press this button, and then it tells you down here how much you should be eating if you want to lose, maintain, or gain weight. And then down here you can track your food and the amount of calories that each food item was, and then it will also calculate how many calories you ate in total, and this refreshes every 10 entries. So yeah.
Alright, next we implemented a widget from Zomato to track like nearby food places to your location, and right now it's set to healthy choices, so you can actually just look for healthy choices with good ratings in your area and find out more about them when you click on them, and it takes you to Google Maps. And underneath is a sweet treats link that we implemented, so you can actually look for things like that. Alright, so it takes HTTPS function right now because the Google Maps API requires a secure connection. So it should find you and put a location on where you are right now, and that's where we are. So if you try looking up something unhealthy like a cupcake, no. Try go to the gym and it pulls up the nearest gym.
Okay, and finally we have our About page. It just basically gives you more information about us and what we did and contributed to the app. So Ben was more of the back-end attributes in New Planet, and so is Viviana, and I focus mainly on the front-end stuff, but we all work together to make this app what it is.
So what was a big challenge for me throughout this entire process was basically understanding the Google Maps API, because it was completely new and there was a lot of documentation about different ways you could do it. And upon asking for help, most people had their own different way of doing it, which could be embedding or using JavaScript. I eventually went with JavaScript. But yes, the Maps API was long, in-depth, and took a while to finally get working with complex functions.
And my biggest struggle was, like the last group mentioned, trying to upload our app to G-Cloud and it not working even though it worked on the local host. That happened to me plenty of times, but I eventually fixed it this morning.
So my biggest struggle was working with the Google account API and storing that information, and I worked a lot with the data store and I struggled with transferring the information from JavaScript to Python to HTML.
Questions? Yeah.
So if you look at the health issue thing on your Google Maps, is it also single digit?
Currently, yes. We are trying to create dictionaries by hand to actually separate healthy and unhealthy choices, so we can actually help you get to places that are not like unhealthy.
So the handlebar at the top, if you press it, does it actually go to that like part on the page?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
It does. Go back. Oh wait, so the question was, if you click on one of the things on the toolbar, does it actually bring you back to the page? And the answer is yes.
Yes, it does. Any more questions?
How did you set up the switch between the HTTP and the HTTPS, the secure version of your site?
Currently, that is in the works. That should be implemented in version 2. But yes, the Google Maps API is a little finicky sometimes. Any more questions? All right, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Kaylee Ong. I'm from Vallejo, California, and I'll be attending Cal Poly Pomona this fall, studying computer science and minor in communications.
Hi everyone, my name is Hannah. I am from Blaine, Minnesota. I'll be attending Stanford University and studying computer science.
Hi, my name is Carlos, and I'm from Tennessee, and I plan to study computer science at Tennessee Technological University.
And we are the hackers, H for Hannah, C for Carlos, and K for Kaylee.
So the name of our app is Safe-Cycle. I had the idea of making this app because of my constant confusion about how to properly dispose of like any item. So basically, this app is used as a guide for anyone who wants to dispose of a product in the most eco-friendly way. And this is our homepage. So it just talks about what Safe-Cycle is, and at the bottom, it talks about why we need to recycle, why we need to e-waste recycle, and why we need to compost.
Another feature of our app is the locations page. Here you can enter your zip code, and it will display the local disposal locations. So for example, if we enter the zip code, it has markers that tell you where to go, and it lists the address. Another feature is we have the search bar up here. If you want to search for something like a banana, it will tell you where it's supposed to go, and below you can also enter your zip code again, and it will direct you to local drop-off centers. You want to try another one?
E-waste.
Yep, and then let's say batteries.
Yeah.
Yep, so these are all the options.
Because we don't have a comprehensive database of everything, we added a review page, so to take users' input the review page, our goal was to both capture users' input and also share what others are saying about what they think about us. So give an honest opinion about what we should add or remove. So the idea, it takes your first, last email address, and internally it it verifies your email, so you cannot enter more than one review to abuse the system. So yeah, and it prints it out, gives you a tally of all the reviews, so how many 5 stars, 4 stars, etc. And yeah, and also we implemented an About Us page, which basically talks a little bit about it, gives a little bio about all 3 of us, and has our mission statement and some contact information in case they want us to anybody wants us to implement any new items into our database.
So one of the biggest challenges one of our biggest challenges when making our app was using APIs. There was this API called Earth 911 that we wanted to use, which basically had all materials sorted already and told you how to dispose of it, but they didn't get back to us in time. So we manually inputted everything. We created our own database. So like we said, if you don't find anything in it, then you can, so like a shirt, then you can report that to us and we'll try our best to put it into the system.
And one of the features I was working on yesterday, but we didn't have time to really finish it, was for people to input in new items and for others, the community, to be able to add items in if they see that there is an item that isn't in the database.
Another challenge that I faced was implementing the Google Maps into our website. We had to figure out how to locate the nearest drop-off locations, but we were able to get that working.
Another major challenge that we faced was trying to merge all the codes and changes that we were all doing at once, and making sure that everything merged correctly. So like we use Git, so if Git would sometimes fail in interesting ways, and we had to figure out how to do that. And for me, I had to learn to do a Git revert because I broke the code so bad that it would follow the page. So.
Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
Currently, no. You have to enter your zip code, but hopefully in the future we can get that set up.
Yeah, version 2.0. Any more questions?
Yeah. So we had to create text files and connect that to our Python and compare the search term with what's in the data in the file and report the results.
Yeah, that's as a temporary solution, but as a long-term goal, we plan to move to data store. So we utilize data store to hold items, and also each item hold a list of locations and possible recycling bins that you could use to recycle based on your city and state. But we didn't have enough time to finish that, so we implemented this instead.
Are you guys planning to ever incorporate the
If they would cooperate, yes.
Hello, I'm Marie McCarthy, and I'm from Denver, Colorado, and next year I'll be attending Colorado School of Mines to study computer science.
Hello, I'm Michaela Aaliyah. I'm from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. I will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and I will be studying computer science.
Hi, I'm Emilio Sanchez. I come from Salinas, California, and in the fall I'm going to be studying civil engineering at the University of California, Berkeley. But because of this program, I might actually switch to computer science.
And our team name is Invalid Syntax. And our app is called Intune. It's an app designed to relieve anxiety and nervousness when people are stressed or anxious about something. They can come to our app and use a bunch of different methods that can help them to calm down and relieve stress and take their mind off whatever they're worried about.
So currently, when you are not logged in, you cannot view most of the things. So you cannot view methods or saved. So you'll have to log in. Here you go. And then now you can view methods and saved features. So starting off, we will look at the music. We embedded Spotify into our website to display different playlists that will relax and calm you if you are feeling stressed or anxious. And then we also have podcasts down below. Another feature we added was GIFs. We had GIFs. So you can look at our soothing GIFs. Yeah. And you can also pick satisfying GIFs or relaxation GIFs. And then we also have resources. You cannot find everything on our site, so we have other valuable resources like TED Talks or any other resources that will have other information.
So those were the things that are available to anybody who is not signed in. So if you are signed in, you can view the methods page where we listed a whole bunch of different methods in order to calm yourself down if you are stressed or if you are anxious. So the way this works is every method has like a little text box, a little like checkbox next to it, and then if you click submit, it'll save all of the text next to that text box and then display it in the proper category in your saved page. And the idea behind this was to give users, I guess, a more custom experience with the site, so they don't have to just go to the methods page. They can just view their saved page and view their preferred methods. And also one of the a big way to help yourself when you're stressed out or when you're anxious is to talk to people. So using purely data store, we made a discussion board where you can just leave a message, and using your info from your email from when you signed in, and you can leave a message, and then once you refresh chat, you can see like up to 25 of the most recent messages that have shown up on the page. And I know there's a lot of things missing from the app as we had a lot of time constraints, so we decided to include a contact us page where you can put your first name, your last name, your email, where you're from, and a comment, and we'll take your feedback and hopefully implement it in future versions of the app. I mainly worked on back-end stuff using Python and App Engine in order to get some of the for example, the methods page to save to the save page, which was one of my biggest struggles because I came here learning knowing zero about how to code anything and having to search up stuff on the internet. It was one thing to learn Python in class, and then it was another thing to have to work with APIs online where I have to search through web pages and try to learn everything myself. So that was kind of difficult.
I mainly struggled with GitHub. Pulling and pushing and all that stuff was really difficult for me because I wanted to implement stuff into the Python, and then we were all working on the Python, so it was a struggle for me to pull everything and push everything and then have my changes be not saved.
I think the biggest challenge for me was making our app simple enough so that it's easy to use and great and a good user experience, but also have enough things so that anybody could come in and use our app and find a way for them to be less stressed. And I think that was a challenge because we tried to find that medium point where it wasn't too complicated or too simple.
Any questions? Yes. Yeah.
It does, but I believe you have to have the way it works is I think you have to be logged into Spotify, or else like it just shows you a 30-second snippet. But I mean, the podcasts work without any account, so you can just listen to those. If you want to meditate or listen to podcasts about anxiety and stuff like that.
Yes.
How did you find all the tips that you ended up putting on your page?
Okay, so down here we have a source, WebMD, and we kind of just implemented everything that we found interesting or useful into our methods.
Yeah, WebMD is really complicated to look through, and like sometimes it's very popular for misdiagnosing you. So we try to just synthesize all the information we found on there into actually useful stuff.
And we came up with just a few of our own that are very simple and good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My apologies if you already answered this, but I'm wondering what the motivation behind the app was.
Well, I personally chose, I didn't come up with the idea. I believe it was Michaela who came up with the idea, but I was really interested in pursuing this because my girlfriend actually suffers from anxiety. And so I figured if I can make something that can help her and have some real world applications. And yeah, that's pretty much why I try to work on this so hard.
It's very common. So we wanted something that would be used and helpful for people.
I really like the embedded Spotify stuff. Did you look into, or was there equivalent for
YouTube? You can obviously put in YouTube videos or YouTube playlists, but I think the issue we found with that is that, for example, that's one of the reasons why we kept because we used the Giphy API on the GIFs page, and we only set it to put certain options, but because you can easily just use the YouTube player to view the recommended videos, which leads obviously to things that aren't supposed to be on the site. So we opted out of that. Any other questions?
Hello, so my name is Lena Park. I'm from Puyallup, Washington. I'll be attending University of Washington this fall, studying informatics and possibly computer science.
Hello, my name is Jordan Hugh. I am from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. I'll be attending the State University of New York in Binghamton, studying computer science.
Hello, my name is Eric Hanlon from Nome, Alaska, and I am going to Washington State University studying computer science.
And we are Get Coding. Do you get it?
Get.
Okay, so in hopes of getting more people, especially students, to connect with their community and making it a better place, we created this app called Serve and Connect. It is essentially a volunteer social app that allows users to find various community service opportunities nearby, have them share their volunteer experiences with others, and also be able to see what other people have accomplished. So this is our homepage. Jordan, so this, it explains about what our website is, and there is a sign in button which Jordan will sign in. So once she signs in, it goes back to the home page, and now you can see all the tabs that are activated right here. First one is community page. It is a page where there are available volunteer opportunities listed here. So users can see what opportunities are available, and they can see information, contact, date, all that description description and decide whether or not to volunteer. And users can also post opportunities if they want to share with others.
So one of the features that we implemented was a location search. So as you can see, there's a bunch of locations in New York, Alaska, but we're in Seattle, so I only want to volunteer in Seattle. So it'll pop up with only results in that location, and I can go and now, if I want to go and volunteer at Goodwill, I now have a contact person, so I can email them and tell them that I want to help out and volunteer. So the other thing that we have is a profile page, which, yeah. So in it, you can post the events that you have already gone to. You can upload user images by clicking on this, and it will replace your current user profile. We can also post unique events. So I volunteered at the Seattle Library. What's today? 7. And I read to people. And as soon as we post it, it shows up in our individual profile feed.
Okay, so we have a friends page that basically shows all the users whoever came to this website and all the posts that they made. So the one that Eric just did shows up, which is me. Anna made a post. And also if you don't want to use a user profile picture, you give your default one, like Damon's right here. Oh, and then we have an about page, which basically tells the visitors about who made the app, what each of us did, and where we're going to school.
Okay, so my challenge was making sure that the information the user posted was saved in their account, so when they sign back in, it would appear back in their profile. And also, I struggled with using an API from this volunteer website. I think my instructor, Eric, and we were working on it, and we found that it was too complicated to use in the short amount of time given, so we had to change our plans.
My challenge was the GitHub and the push and pull. All of our conflicts was not helpful. And also, I didn't realize how hard it would be to have a user upload a profile pic and have it stored in a database. That was very difficult.
So my main struggle was I did a lot of back-end with database and linking 2 different database entries together. So when a user posts something, we want that to be paired with their original email. So combining 2 different database structures so that they link together was kind of an issue. For most of the time, I was working on mostly Python, which kind of came into a struggle on the last day when I had to do some CSS stuff. So going from Python to CSS can be really stressful. So sometimes I would just be done with coding. And luckily, another group, Invalid Syntax, made a great app that helped me meditate. So I used that a couple times, and it really does help. So we'd like to open it up for any questions, if anyone has anything to ask.
Yeah,
is there a way, like inside your app, to contact that person who posted a volunteer opportunity?
you can always email them or call.
Miri?
So we did consider that, but we decided not to because we wanted the users to focus on their experience and going to the events instead of kind of counting who has how many hours volunteer.
Last question. So, if the date of the event has passed, does the event disappear?
Not currently, but if there are any like these VCs out there that want to be able to invest in our startup. We'll get a version 2 out there in a little bit.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Billy T. Hernandez. I'm from Sacramento, California, and this fall I will be attending Sacramento City College and studying computer science.
Hi, my name is Alexis Mack. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. This fall I'll be attending Stanford University to major in computer science and electrical engineering.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Zietz and I'm from Irvine, California, and this fall I'll be attending Yale University to study statistics and data science.
Welcome to Diversity. Diversity is a mutually beneficial social platform based in community, culture, and language. All you need to be immersed in this community is to search for a destination. Once you search for a destination, Diversity will transform you into a immersion into a community via our users. Diversity is core and believe that we are open to engage, learn, and share. So now, Elizabeth will share with you how to use Diversity.
So we're going to do a brief demo, and our friend Ben's going to come up here, and he's going to be our new user. So for a new user, they're going to click the sign up button, and they're going to log into their Google account, and this allows us to make sure that the email is verified, and this is going to be the primary way for users to connect.
Okay. This went so much better than you know what? I do know what that's. This is not a repeat of the last time, right?
Cool. Thanks, Ben. So after Ben signs in, he's going to be redirected to a create account form in which he's going to fill out his name and his email address. And this email address will be the way in which users can connect after viewing each other's profiles and they want to start a conversation. So Ben is from San Diego. And so he's going to fill in his city and also his home country. And we have a drop-down menu here that incorporates all the countries in the world. And this is part of our way to promote diversity and an interchange between cultures. Next on the form, the user can specify how much time they're able to allot to spend time with their friend, and also how long they would like to welcome someone. So they're going to create an account, and their new profile will show up, and Alexis is going to explain that.
So here's our profile page here. There are many attributes I want to explain to you all. For the first attribute is a profile avatar. So you're able to submit a file from your preferred location, and we're going to choose a file that's for Ben, and we're going to this one right here. This is Ben's profile picture, and there you see Ben's profile picture. Below the profile avatar is core information to our application. It's his place of residence and his best contact information email. Below that is, again, as Elizabeth explained, a time span availability. So there's short-term, mid-term, and long-term because we're inclusive of everyone and every type of traveler, immersion experience possible, as well as availability, the type of availability, how much interest you have in being immersed, being a host, being a visitor, whether you are dedicated, how much time you want to spend. And below this information is a story section where you'll store your journey through the experience of hosting individuals, visiting places, or any kind of travel or cultural immersion you've experienced will be here. So again, I'll demonstrate an image for Ben, and we'll say this is, maybe he went somewhere, and this is the theme of his experience there. So now we'll demonstrate how to search through diversity and expand your horizons and experience culture.
So now that Ben has a completed profile, he's going to go to the search to, let's say he wants to go to explore another city in the United States. So he does a search for United States, and that redirects him to this results page, which displays other profiles on the website. And so he looks through it displays their name, their profile picture, and the city in which they live. And so let's say he wants to travel to Irvine in the United States. So he clicks View Profile, and he sees all their profile information, and he wants to experience a long-term stay in Irvine, and he'd like to have a very active relationship with the person he's meeting. And so Elizabeth's profile looks pretty good to him, and her type of journeys look good to him. So he decides to send a message like, "Hi, I want to come to Irvine," and he clicks send. And then you can see that appear in Elizabeth's Gmail account.
And we got his message. And next, like, we're just going to show that you can put in different countries. So for example, if today Ben wants to go to China, he can search for users. So here, Marcia says she's in China, so he can click View Profile, and he can view her adventures. And these journeys, they are public to all people who have an account.
Okay, so now we're going to explain our challenges here. And I go back to the About page. My challenge, for example, for my overall process would be the databasing of the information. So there are multiple types of attributes for individual profiles. Accessing these is very important depending on which profile is logged in and which profiles you're viewing. So there is images for the journeys and the stories that you had to attribute for the database, as well as different types of text and information for contacting and emailing.
So another challenge we had was doing the image uploading. So keeping the image up there and also having the user be able to upload an image was challenging. Also, I worked on a lot of the design and CSS, and that was hard, especially because we want to match like our vision for the project and keep it visually clean and simple for the user.
I worked a lot with the user experience, making sure that the user experience was as intuitive and easy as possible, all the way from creating an account and signing up, all the way to emailing your first profile, that it all made sense to the user, even if it's their first time.
So any questions?
Yes, I noticed that the images that you upload about your journeys are all nice square images. Do you do any kind of formatting on that, or do you only upload square images?
We did. So let's go back to profile account, for example. So we have square images because we noticed that they're more friendly to have squares for the journeys, and then we also have circular images for the profile pictures because it's nice smaller formatting. But I think the square will work better because it's a larger image and it encompasses a wider range of the image than the profile picture would.
The user doesn't have to upload a square image. They can upload another image and it will crop that image to fit the square.
Miriam.
Expand the view. Yeah, so right now we do not have the functionality for expanding the journey image, but it's large enough to be able to make out most of it currently. And if we were to continue working on this app, then we would implement that functionality. Damon?
So say if you're not logged into the website, could you view other users' information on the profile?
So one attribute that we want to make sure we implemented was privacy, because it is a community of users. So rather than having everyone who doesn't have an account log in and view profiles, we made sure to only limit that to people who are part of the community to interact with the other community members.
Ben?
And what things have been added to your story?
So currently, so the question was, can you remove an image that's on your story? So currently we don't have that functionality yet, but as we continue to develop this web app, we'll definitely do that.
You can edit your imaging for your profile picture as far as today, and then in the future we will implement that editing for the contact information.
Yes, Nikki?
How do you differentiate if you are the one traveling or if you would like to post somebody that is traveling?
So essentially, if you go onto sites such as let's say Airbnb, and you're traveling somewhere for a hosting stay, you'll be the one who's searching for a home, and then the person receiving the request will be the person who's hosting you. So similar to that, in that you are going to be looking for a user who matches your preference, and then you will be marking that in your profile.
Yes, Ben? yeah, so your current location, like the location shown on your profile, is stagnant as of now. But the country that you would like to go to is only a function of the search, and so the country you'd like to go to is completely flexible based on what you want to search for.
So good job, guys. This is cssi-sea 2018. Any comments from the audience? Anybody wants to say a few words? Eric, come on up.
Thank you. How do you feel?
Good.
Right? Yeah. I mean, just think about what y'all have accomplished. I mean, 3 weeks ago, we were teaching you how to create directories, how to touch files. Like, we're trying to launch the shell. We're trying to figure out this CSS thing, which you'll never really fully figure out. I'm sorry. I wish there was a. Wish I could had better news there. But I saw apps that just blew my mind. I mean, these are things that actual startups try and do and don't necessarily do it that well. I got to tell you, like, cssi is the highlight of my year. So tomorrow is kind of like December 26th. Like, oh, I've got to wait another year. But I'm just so amazingly proud of y'all. You've done such hard work, and it just blows my mind how much effort and drive that y'all have to do this kind of work. Because it's when you're in the 11th hour trying to get something done, a project, and you're in that grind, there's a place where your mind just kind of goes, and it's hard to stick with it. And that determination is probably more important than any other characteristic you bring with you to college or to the working world. Just so amazing, proud of y'all. So give yourselves a hand.
Thank you. Hey, anybody else? How about you, Yvette and Jimmy? You guys want to chime in?
Please, I can go.
Yeah.
So I know I told a few of you yesterday that I'd be there today. And well, this is as good as it could be because I'm homesick. I just wanted to say it was really fun to meet you. Chatting with you during break, helping you out when we couldn't find out missing dash on the command line, all those sorts of things. And I'm going to just speak for all of the TAs that you gave us a great break from our day jobs and made us really excited about all the future people who are going to be going to school and graduating with computer science degrees and hopefully someday joining us in the workforce where you too can volunteer for CSSI. So thanks for everything and good luck in college.
Jimmy, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'll just be quick. Just wanted to say to all of you, I told you you could do it. At the beginning, like, nobody ever doesn't make a web app at the end, and y'all did it. Good work.
Hey y'all. So I'm Lauren, UX designer and researcher here at Google, and I just want to say congratulations. That was amazing, and it was really compelling to see how so many of your projects really were focused on a really positive impact for society and for the community. So thank you so much for that, and keep bringing that spirit with you as you go on. And I really want to take a selfie maybe with you all in a few moments. So we'll do that.
We'll do that. We'll do that. No?
Oh, I have a question.
Oh, okay.
How does every year keep getting better?
Question.
Simon, how does every year of CSSI keep getting better?
Oh, well, we keep doing it, and I think we keep getting better, but most importantly, the students keep getting better. That's why. All right. In that case, CSSIers, you've graduated. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Carlos, high five.
Great job, everybody.
Woo!
Heck yeah! I'm so proud of you all. That was amazing. High five. Yeah, high five. There you go. Oh my god, I'm so proud of you guys. That was so good.